Hi Gemini, and welcome to your mid-November sort of update where we'll look at what's sort of going on for you in the month of November. Your general reading is already there, so it will just sort of add some extra insight to it. And thank you for everyone who sent me messages of condolences. Every single one of them has helped me move through. Still very much in it, but really sort of appreciate all your support, Gemini. So I'm going to pull you one additional guidance card. Oh, please don't roll your eyes when you see fork in the road. Oh, Gemini. Fork in the road, like the Two of Wands, like the Lover's card. That sort of feeling of not quite sure what's coming next. I actually feel like running away from the reading, but I'm not going to, because actually, Gemini, you must be used to it. Yeah, that sort of feeling that this is quite a constant state of mind, not sure whether to go right or left. Actually, sometimes with the fork in the road, it's about what lies ahead. Okay, remember, nothing can be worked out through the mind. It's breath, it's relaxation, intuition, which is a function of the mind, but it's very much that higher mind. But oh, hold on, some jumping cards. There's too many, so they're all going back in the deck. There was about 20 there, so you actually got a jumping half the deck. So let's have a look. I'm going to give another quick shuffle before I then cut the cards one more time. Okay, so what have we got? Six of Wands behind you. So some sort of victory, some sort of success after the Five of Wands. And the Five of Wands is always that feeling that your fire is banging against an opposition, you know, like tension basically. And the gift is the Six of Swords, so you've got two sixes showing up. The sixes are always a bit of restoration of balance after sometimes being in the five, so a feeling that something's been stirred up for some Geminis here. The challenge is the Knight of Swords. King of Wands in your relationship. A lot of heat building up here. Not a lot of action now, because this king sits on his throne, because the king gets the knights and the pages to do his work. Okay, which is very interesting, because the Knight of Swords is a challenge. Some sort of communication here going on. Queen of Cups, walking towards the Eight of Pentacles. So the Eight of Pentacles is actually a card about putting your head down and getting on with becoming a master. Yeah, we're always in a stage of mastery. Sometimes to know the birth chart is to know what we're trying to master. So the Eight of Pentacles is about putting your head down and trying to get on with work. It can sometimes have a feeling of having to tune something out, that Eight of Pentacles. So some of you, because you have clearly been maybe in a five, so the apple cart might have been turned over, just a little bit of friction, and you're clearly going to a much more healing phase. Some of you might have to catch up in work, or for some of you, I love my work. I'm definitely not a workaholic, but it's a source of creativity and a source of connection. So maybe some of you, that's your managing skills, and then you get the Two of Cups. So there's definitely some sort of relationship energy here. Because of the cards that's showing up, for some of you this is a fire sign, but I cannot help feeling sometimes first impressions are that intuitive function. The King of Wands is an awful lot of potential passion building up. But that Knight of Swords is a very swift moving knight. He moves into action. So he goes forward, delivers the news, sort things out. But it's a challenge. And already I've got this funny picture, Gemini, that for some of you there's clearly some sort of relationship here, dynamic or potential. But there ain't anything happening. And maybe it's not happening. Hold on, give me one card. Why is this going on? Yeah, because of the goddamn Hermit. Yeah. I love the Hermit. I didn't mean it that way. But it's almost that feeling, my first impression was the King of Wands is the highest you can get in craving, attraction, fire. Yeah. But the knights carry out the job of the king. And because it's a challenge, it almost feels that there's not quite a meeting going on here. Or something's not came together, but the energy of something building is going on. You've got 2 sixes here. So everyone loves the sixes. But no one loves the cards that come before the sixes, which are some sort of... Sometimes it's an upset, it's something that's happened, but this is about peace being restored. The Six of Swords is your classic transition card. It's a minor arcana version of the Death card, but it's a much more peaceful card. You're not where you want to be yet, by the way, but the Six of Swords is a card of journeying. It's under the moon, which means it's entering into some unknown territory, but it's not quite arrived where it wants to be yet. And that's why the Knight of Swords is a challenge, because no one's doing the work that the King of Wands wants them to do. Now, you've got this Queen of Cups here. So the Queen of Cups might be a water sign, but it'd be an energy of someone. And the Queen of Cups would be a very compassionate energy. She would show care, compassion, aid, empathy, but she's offering her cup. Okay, now I want to tell you what's going on here, because she's offering her cup, but your back's sort of turned. And that's what I mean with the Eight of Pentacles. I think it's quite an interesting card when it shows up. Every tarot card's got endless amount of stories to it, but this Eight of Cups is turning a little bit of his back on this queen, and he's putting his head down, very much buried in his own world, and it's his world of pentacles. But there's some sort of soulmate energy here. Give me a minute. What's going on here? I'm intrigued, Gemini. Oh God, you got the same card. You got Fork in the Rose again. That is classically the Fork in the Road, the Six of Swords. Because it's like, I'm not where I was, I'm not where I want to be, and I'm in the middle of an ocean with 6 swords in my boat. About to start this brand new life, but I'm not in the brand new life yet. It's a little bit of a, it can be a tricky card. The reason why it's a tricky card is people are very uncomfortable being in the unknown. Human beings love certainty, and even though the sixes are very much, everything's a lot calmer now, there seems to be some uncertainty around you. What's the uncertainty about? Because you've got a very cryptic reading. What's the uncertainty about, please? One card. The Magician, which is the 4 aces, which is about this manifestation card. The 4 aces are always about new chapters and new beginnings. But you're definitely in this in-between space. And the Knight of Swords as a challenge to me is about that king. Because the kings in the tarot deck, all the knights and the pages go forward to do their bidding. So that's the first step, the communication. But the knight isn't doing this bidding of the king. And I'm pretty much sure this is to do with some relationship dynamic. So who's this beautiful Queen of Cups? I love all the queens, by the way. Who is this Queen of Cups, though? She's definitely a person, look. It's all relationship, but this Eight of Pentacles. Now, I told you that the Eight of Pentacles look multiple meanings, but when I seen it, that some Geminis might be coping with things with a little bit of not shutting it out, but it's like turning your back towards something. I don't think you're turning your back towards this Queen of Cups necessarily, but I think for some of you, something's not been fully dealt with here. Something's not really clear about the way forward. Now, I don't think it's a mistake. Actually, in a lot of ways, in my private reading work, I actually get people to focus on the Pentacles when they're in a situation that they don't feel they're in control of, which is just about everything. I go, right, focus on what you are in control of. But there's something about this connection, and it's like it's been prevented from moving forward at the speed that you'd like it to. For some of you, the whole issue is just there's no communication, but there's a lot of chemistry. Can I get an advice card for Gemini, please? I've had to do this for quite a few people. What's the advice card? One card for advice. Okay, you've got the Five of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles, I don't read it. Now and again it shows up as financial issues, but look, someone's offering the hat. There's some sort of connection here, but no one's bridging the gap. And the connection's real. In this, he offers his hat into the light. So think of medieval times. That would be a way of sort of trying to bridge a gap to make some sort of connection between someone else. It's sort of your advice. And I always think with that Five of Pentacles, it's like the way to bridge a gap might be something like a page. So the smallest little breakings of the ice. And that seems to be the advice for you. Now, I hope this reading's okay. Gemini, I'm very still much in the other world at the moment, and I obviously do my readings because it's what I do for a job, but I'm not able to do as many as usual. So I hope it makes some sense for someone. If not, hopefully next month will, or hopefully you'll bring yourself out of the Eight of Pentacles enough to go, is there someone around me that I'm not seeing? When we do that, our life changes completely. Because sometimes when we're in that Eight of Pentacles, our heads are so stuck that we can't quite see that there's someone there, that there's an energy building up with. Anyhow, have a think about it. Lots of love, guys, and thank you again. I really, you have so helped me through this transition. Lots of love. Bye.